Shedeur Sanders' face said what a lot of fans and critics were already thinking. He looked flat, disappointed, and maybe a little impatient when the camera caught him on the Browns sideline as Dillon Gabriel trotted into the game late in a blowout loss. The image is small, a sideline camera freeze frame, but the subtext is huge. It crystallizes a growing narrative. A highly touted rookie with star wattage and outsized expectations is sitting on the periphery of an NFL roster that, for now, prefers veteran stability and a more conventional rookie pathway. Put bluntly, Sanders is in a tough spot. He was a headline-grabbing selection, a high-profile college star with a name and pedigree that brought instant attention. Yet the Browns drafted 2 quarterbacks this year, Gabriel and Sanders, kept Joe Flacco as the starter, and have so far treated Sanders as the developmental third-string option, active on game days only in emergency situations. That's the operational reality that produced the moment the cameras captured. Gabriel, the third-round pick who the team clearly views as the near-term developmental option, stepping into mop-up duty while Sanders watches on, headset on, expression curt. There are a few layers to unpack here: roster construction, player development, optics, and franchise strategy. From Cleveland's perspective, the conservative approach makes sense on paper. Flacco is an experienced starter who can manage an offense, mentor younger players, and, as long as he isn't completely uncompetitive, reduce the team's short-term volatility. Dillon Gabriel was chosen in round 3 with the understanding he might be a plug-and-play backup with upside. Giving him reps first to see how he handles NFL speed is logical. Meanwhile, Sanders is widely perceived inside the league as a higher ceiling, higher variance project, someone who might need more time to transition from college timing, reads, and protections to the pro game. Labeling him developmental allows the Browns to keep options open. They won't accelerate him before they're confident he's ready, and they preserve the ability to chase a top prospect in next year's draft if neither rookie proves it. But development in an NFL setting is not a laboratory exercise. Live game reps are the most informative for coaches, for front offices, and for the players themselves. Practice and preseason work can only tell you so much. If you want a meaningful read on whether a player can lead an NFL offense, you need to see him under pressure against adult defenses with real consequences. By insulating Sanders from those reps, the Browns slow that evaluation clock. That has a downstream cost. If the team plans to spend premium draft capital or dollars next offseason on a quarterback, it risks doing so without fully testing the options already on its roster. There's also the optics question, which is not trivial. Sanders carries a spotlight. He's the son of a prominent coach, he was a noted college performer, and he has a national profile that dwarfs most rookies drafted in the middle rounds. Fans who watched him fall to the 5th round expected at least a chance to see him, or at least a clear plan. When cameras catch him looking deflated as another rookie gets the late-game mop-up, the narrative becomes one of a player being managed out of the moment he was drafted to seize. That perception can breed frustration among supporters and can complicate the locker room signaling around fairness and opportunity. On the other side of the ledger, Sanders bears responsibilities of his own. He's not a passive object in this story. Public comments, like saying he's ready to play right now and that he believes he can outperform NFL quarterbacks he watches on TV, feed the media cycle and give opponents and pundits ammunition to label him a distraction. The Browns' reluctance to rush him could be partly about temperament. Teams often prefer players who absorb coaching, handle the anonymity of development, and temper public pronouncements with on-field performance. If Sanders wants to alter the trajectory quickly, the fastest path is predictable. Dominate practice, be the first to arrive and last to leave, show mastery of the playbook, and let a performance speak louder than a soundbite. So what are realistic next steps for the Browns and for Sanders? For Cleveland, the sensible middle ground is obvious but politically tricky. Give the room's primary rookie candidate, Gabriel, a string of meaningful snaps in a controlled environment, perhaps a full series in a lower leverage game, or a planned starter stretch over a couple of quarters if the team falls behind in a way that won't meaningfully alter the season's arc. That provides data. If Gabriel fails to move the needle, then pivot quickly to Sanders and evaluate him the same way. Running a deliberate, transparent audition plan is better for internal morale and external credibility than an opaque wait-and-watch posture. For Sanders, the agency is simple and urgent. He can't force playing time by complaining on the sideline. He can force it by becoming impossible to ignore. That means relentless preparation, mastering protections, timing with receivers, handling the cadence and the blitz packages, and doing it publicly in ways that coaching staffs value. It also means earning trust with teammates. Players who push too hard for attention and underdeliver get labeled divas. Players who grind and then produce get elevated. The margin between those two outcomes is narrow, but it exists. Finally, both parties should acknowledge the larger calendar. Cleveland holds 2 first-round picks next spring. That leverage changes everything. If neither rookie looks like a franchise solution after controlled auditions, the Browns have the capital to chase an elite prospect. If one does, they can redirect the picks. Either way, wasting a full season without learning more about the rookies would be a strategic misstep. The camera freeze frame of Sanders' reaction is a small image that reveals big questions. Who will the Browns be at quarterback next year? How much patience will the franchise afford a high-profile rookie whose public persona is louder than his pro snaps? Ultimately, the answer comes down to evidence, and evidence arrives on NFL Sundays. Sanders' path out of sidelined obscurity is straightforward. Make the most of every rep, quiet the noise, and force the Browns' hand with performance. If he can do that, the look on his face will change from frustrated to vindicated, and the Browns will have a clearer path forward too. The moment was brief. A camera linger, a quick facial expression, but it told a story. When Dillon Gabriel jogged onto the field late in Cleveland's blowout loss, the sideline camera caught Shedeur Sanders watching with a look that didn't exactly scream enthusiasm. For a player who said he's ready to play right now, the reaction was notable and, for many, revealing. Context matters. Sanders is the Browns' third-string rookie after being taken in the 5th round. Gabriel, a higher draft pick and the team's official backup, has been the one-handed mop-up duty twice so far. NFL rules also limit Sanders' in-game availability. He can only enter if both the starter and backup are injured, and he's activated as the emergency third QB. That technicality makes Gabriel the obvious short-term option for late-game reps. Still, being visibly unenthused on camera is a risky look for a young quarterback trying to build trust in a new organization. Sanders has not been shy about his confidence. In recent comments, he said he feels ready and even suggested he could play better than that when talking about quarterback play around the league. That kind of self-belief is a double-edged sword. On one hand, coaches love competitive fire and confidence. On the other, teams prize patience, coachability, and the ability to support the group quietly while learning the pro game. There are a few plausible readings of the clip. Sanders may simply have been frustrated by the blowout itself. Being a competitor, he obviously wants to be involved. He could also be privately disappointed at his role and the lack of opportunities to showcase his skill set in a real game environment. Or it might have been a split-second expression blown up by a camera and social media. In the NFL, small moments often become big narrative ammunition. For Sanders, the path forward is clear. He should keep practicing with urgency, show positive energy on the sideline, and let his play speak when opportunities arise. Coaches and front offices usually reward professionalism, the type that shows up even when you're not the headline act. For the Browns, the decision about who plays next is their business. For Sanders to force the issue, he'll need to turn practice performance and scout team reps into undeniable in-game value when the chance comes. The clip will circulate for a while, but it's what Sanders does next that will define how the team and fans interpret the moment. Sulk or use it as fuel. In a league where perception can be as powerful as production, the smartest move for the rookie is to be ready, stay positive, and let the tape of his play, not his reaction, make the case.